son to take another swipe at Barack Obama and threatens to strike back in a war of words with war hero John McCain. Record high on Wall Street, a hot streak fueling your retirement funds. Is there still time to get in on the action? Forced out, Harvey Weinstein resigns from the company he founded as another powerful head rolls in Hollywood. ISIS capital falls, a major victory in the fight. Raqqa reclaimed. Is the terror group on the ropes? Dangerous water crisis in Puerto Rico, where some are so desperate they're breaking into contaminated wells. Toxic SUV warning. Safety advocates issue a call to action after reports of drivers passing out behind the wheel. And good chemistry. And a teacher on a mission to ignite a love of science. Also tonight, the wild chase that captivated the web.
This is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening and thank you for being here tonight. For a second day, President Trump ventured into the solemn territory of military service and sacrifice, raising more questions about whether his predecessor properly honored the families of fallen warriors. Mr. Trump invoking the combat death of the son of his own chief of staff, General John Kelly, during a radio interview, while appearing to try and one-up Barack Obama's actions as commander-in-chief. NBC's Peter Alexander has details.
Tonight, as the body of one of the American soldiers killed in Niger this month returns home to Florida, and the White House confirms President Trump spoke to all four families of the fallen, the president's taken another swing at Barack Obama on the gravest of presidential obligations.
I think I've called every family of somebody that's died, and it's the hardest call to make. As far as other representatives, I don't know. I mean, you could ask General Kelly, did he get a call from Obama?
The president invoking the memory of his chief of staff's son, Robert Kelly, a Marine killed in 2010, one of nearly 500 American troops who lost their lives in Afghanistan that year. A White House official telling NBC News President Obama never called Kelly. It comes a day after Mr. Trump volunteered this claim.
If you look at President Obama and other presidents, most of them didn't make calls. A lot of them didn't make calls.
But the same day President Obama visited Arlington National Cemetery in 2011, the Kellys attended a White House breakfast for families of the fallen. And according to a person familiar with the gathering, the Kelly family sat at then First Lady Michelle Obama's table. Kelly has gone to great lengths not to allow his son's death to be singled out. Today, noticeably absent from the president's Rose Garden news conference. Meanwhile, President Trump is fiercely responding to criticism from another war hero, John McCain.
I'm being very nice. I'm being very, very nice. But at some point, I fight back, and it won't be pretty.
That threat following this veiled swipe Monday night.
Some half-baked, spurious nationalism cooked up by people who would rather find scapegoats than solve problems is as unpatriotic as an attachment to any other tired dogma of the past.
McCain today not blaming the president, but a broken system.
It's a reversion to the 1930s, the isolationism that brought on World War II.
And Peter joining us live now. Peter, it also appears there's some movement on negotiations over health care today. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Lester, that's right. This is a bipartisan deal that's been reached on Capitol Hill that would save the Obamacare subsidy payments that President Trump canceled just last week. Of course, the president's repeatedly insisted Obamacare is dead, but tonight he appears to be signaling an openness to this deal, a short-term fix, he says, that nearly 6 million low-income Americans rely on to make their health insurance affordable. Lester.
All right, Peter Alexander at the White House tonight. Thank you, Peter. It was another record-setting day on Wall Street today as the Dow crossed over 23,000 during the trading day for the first time. By the close, it was up 40 points, just shy of that 23,000 mark. If you've been invested in stocks through your 401k, pension, or mutual funds, there's a very good chance you've made some money this year. The question at moments like this is whether the market is getting close to topping out or if there's still time to get in. Here's NBC's Tom Costello with that.
It happened only 90 minutes into the trading day.
We are watching the Dow, which just hit
23,000 for the first time.
That milestone coming just over 2 months since the Dow crossed over 22,000. This has been the year of records day after day. Since January 1st, the Dow Jones Index of 30 leading stocks is up a whopping 16%. If a family had invested $10,000 in the index then, it would be worth $11,600 today. What's driving the market higher? An improving global economy, low interest rates that make bonds less attractive than stocks, and strong corporate earnings. Among the biggest gainers so far, Boeing, Netflix, Caterpillar, Apple, Amazon, and Visa.
The stock market just hit an all-time record high.
Since President Trump's election, the market has climbed a staggering 28%, partially on his moves to deregulate business, but ignoring North Korea, Iran, and Russia.
I do think there remains a hope among investors that there will perhaps be progress on tax reform, corporate tax cut, perhaps an individual tax cut.
The question tonight, is the market due for a pullback?
I'd characterize it as slightly dangerous.
Most financial advisors suggest taking money out of the market only if you anticipate big expenses in the next year.
Stick with your investment plan. Stick with your investment allocation, and that's the way you avoid missing out on the returns.
There are plenty of people who say, listen, the market has had a good bull run, 8 years, and it is time for a pullback. For the superstitious, this week marks the 30th anniversary of Black Monday, when the market lost 23%. Lester?
Tom Costello. Thank you, Tom. President Trump says his nominee to be the next U.S. drug czar is withdrawing from consideration for the job. The move by Congressman Tom Marino to pull his name comes after an explosive report that Marino played a key role in passing a bill that weakened the ability of federal authorities to stop the distribution of opioids, potentially exacerbating that epidemic. And a new crackdown on the opioid crisis today. The Justice Department has charged 2 men in China with shipping tons of illegal opioids to the U.S., drugs that prosecutors say led directly to deaths here. And the trail that led to one of them began with a death in the heartland. Here's NBC News Justice correspondent Pete Williams.
For first responders in Grand Forks, North Dakota, it was an all-too-common call, drug overdose. They found 18-year-old Bailey Henke dead of an overdose of fentanyl, a synthetic drug 50 times more powerful than heroin and 100 times stronger than morphine. Police discovered that Henke got it from a man in Grand Forks who bought his from a supplier in Oregon that came from Canada and was made and shipped from China by a 38-year-old man named John Zhang. Prosecutors revealed today that Zhang and another Chinese man, Xiaobing Yan, have been charged with making tons of fentanyl at labs and plants they controlled in China, then selling it to distributors on the internet who paid in bitcoins. Of the 64,000 drug overdose deaths in 2016, 20,000 are blamed on fentanyl. And American investigators say nearly all of it in the U.S. comes from China, either the finished product or the chemicals used to make it. So far, neither Chinese man is in custody. The U.S. says China needs to do more.
These cases reflect a new and disturbing trend, a part of the opioid crisis that we face here in the United States. More and more of our citizens are being killed by fentanyl.
Hoping to stem a Chinese connection that's killing Americans like Bailey Henke.
And Pete, what we have here, there's late word of a new court ruling on President Trump's latest travel ban. What do we know about this?
Well, Lester, the same judge in Hawaii who blocked an earlier version of the travel ban today stopped enforcement of this latest one. This one was to take effect at midnight, restricting travel from 8 countries that the Trump administration said failed to meet new standards for vetting visa applicants. So here we go again. There's another challenge pending in Maryland, and both undoubtedly will ultimately wind up before the Supreme Court, Lester.
All right, Pete Williams in our Washington newsroom. Thank you. There's new fallout tonight for Harvey Weinstein. The movie mogul now officially forced out of the company that he founded. That news comes as another major power player in the movie business is out. The head of Amazon Studios stepping down while facing sexual harassment allegations of his own. NBC's Ann Thompson has more on the new developments and the women speaking out far beyond Hollywood.
It is the talk of Hollywood's red carpet.
I'd say like 99% of the women in this room have been, harassed.
Including Academy Award-winning actress Reese Witherspoon, telling a star-studded room in Los Angeles she's endured multiple incidents of sexual harassment and assault.
Through disgust at the director who assaulted me when I was 16 years old.
More and more women now telling their stories. The hashtag #MeToo dominating social media as women reveal what they've endured. At the National Women's Law Center, complaints of sexual harassment doubling since the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke.
I don't think we can put the volume of women who have been coming forward demanding change back into a box. If employers aren't ready for this, they better get ready for this.
Tonight, the head of Amazon Studios, also accused, resigning in disgrace. More than 50 women accusing Harvey Weinstein alone. And now an allegation against his brother Bob. Executive producer Amanda Siegel telling Variety Bob Weinstein harassed her for 3 months last year while they made the TV show The Mist, pursuing an unwanted romantic relationship. Weinstein's attorney says the story is riddled with false and misleading assertions, and we have the emails to prove it. As for Harvey, his attorney left the Weinstein Company's board meeting saying nothing.
No comment? Not at this time.
As the voices of victims grow stronger and louder.
What makes this scandal different from the ones before is that so many women, especially prominent women, are speaking out, raising hopes for real change. As one advocate said today, you should never have to choose between your work and your dignity. Lester?
All right, Ann Thompson, thanks for bringing us that. An update now on that incident aboard a United plane that sparked national outrage. Captured on video, Dr. David Dow getting dragged off an overbooked flight at Chicago's O'Hare Airport back in April when he refused to give up his seat. Airport officials now say 2 of those security officers involved were fired this summer. A third has quit and a fourth was suspended for 5 days. A startling revelation today from the investigation into the deadliest hot air balloon crash in U.S. history. NTSB investigators say the Texas pilot was likely impaired by a dangerous combination of Valium, opioids, and cold and allergy medicine when he flew into a power line near Austin last year. All 16 people aboard were killed. Tonight, a major victory in the fight against ISIS. Kurdish forces backed by U.S. Special Ops taking back Raqqa, the so-called capital of the Islamic State. The terror group losing key ground, but is it a turning point? Here's NBC News Chief Foreign Correspondent Richard Engel.
Today, the black ISIS flag was replaced by the banner of U.S.-backed forces in the city of Raqqa, where ISIS filmed itself celebrating when it rolled into Raqqa 3 years ago. Today, the table was turned. U.S.-backed forces in the same spot. There was some public cheering, too, but most people in this battered city are long gone. This was perhaps the most feared place on earth, with frequent public executions. And it was a base for ISIS to plot terrorist attacks, including intelligence services say on the Bataclan Theater in Paris and the Istanbul airport, as well as to hold and murder hostages, including American James Foley. The city was freed by mostly Kurdish forces, helped by U.S. Special Ops and coalition airstrikes. Now, with the loss of Raqqa and the Iraqi city of Mosul this summer, ISIS territory has shrunk from the size of Virginia to a few scattered areas.
ISIS still maintains an ability to launch smaller-scale terrorist attacks, but I think their future as a large-scale fighting force will largely end with the fall of Raqqa.
Raqqa actually fell a little sooner than expected, sources tell me, with the surrender of hundreds of low-level fighters. Analysts say ISIS remains dangerous, but is now less effective without a safe haven to plot and train. Lester?
Richard Engel. Thanks, Richard. Now to the deepening and dangerous water crisis in Puerto Rico in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Overnight, the number of people there with running water dropped following more heavy rains and floods. Now the EPA says the desperate are breaking into water wells that may actually be contaminated. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez is there and has more for us.
This helmet camera shows the urgent mission, the military in remote parts of Puerto Rico, children waiting for water. Now people are getting so desperate, the EPA says they're breaking into sealed-off wells in the town of Dorado. They're in an area on the U.S. Superfund list, sites so polluted the government considers their cleanup a priority. Even though there's a clearly marked danger sign, people were willing to risk it, ripping off this fence. This man from Chicago, helping with relief efforts, comes here at night to find water.
We're drenched in sweat. We need to cool off some kind of way. There's no electricity.
Luis Ortiz is filling up at a well the EPA has deemed safe.
This is the water that I drink for me and my wife and my kids.
Agua es vida. Water is life. Our main goal is to make sure that public health is protected.
Adding to the frustration, an investigation is underway in a